Hi guys, welcome to WYNWYNI. That's what you need when you need it with me, Lydia Shambole. This week I have a great guest. His name is Ndambuki and he is an aspiring photographer, videographer. He just does everything. He says yes to life. So, let's jump right in.
Went to Mall of America on Black Friday and that was a
Jesus, that's a bad idea.
shit show. Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's the biggest mall in the world, right?
Yeah, it was huge. Ugh. It's just confusing. Like, I don't know why are we here? The circus.
I don't know why
Like,
people
rides
go
in
there. Yeah, I feel like I would just get lost and end up crying on the ground.
Yeah, I was thinking it'd be fun, and there'd be so many people that it'd be easy to shoplift.
How did that go?
I didn't steal anything, but that was my intention. I'm not saying that was my full intention, but it was a little bit part of the incentive on, oh my gosh, it'd be impossible to...
No, they would catch you. They probably have really...
So many people.
Sophisticated techniques for catching shoplifters. A
lot of the stores didn't have any beepers on them either, okay? So I felt like I could do it too, but I also didn't want to do it in front of... And I didn't think it'd be necessarily appropriate. Like, I just didn't know how to do it.
Thanks for inviting me for the week. I'm gonna shoplift.
I mean, that's how you buy someone a gift.
Christmas presents?
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like shoplifting together would bring you closer as well.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And you just take them somewhere and you're like, what do you want? Seriously, what do you want? Oh, you want that duffel bag over there? Okay.
I got you.
Put that duffel bag in this fanny pack.
We don't condone shoplifting.
Don't shoplift.
At all.
Please.
Okay, kids.
Please.
But yeah, so what else did you do on your trip?
I didn't really do much. We went to a very smart family's Thanksgiving dinner, and that was really. I took oh fuck my phone. Can I? Yeah, I could probably cuss. Yeah.
Yeah, you could. You could curse. That's fine.
So smart. The English he's a music teacher. And he had 2 daughters. Mm-hmm. He had 3 daughters. Yeah. Mm-hmm. He's a professor, and his name is Mark. And his daughters go to really nice schools, and they also play instruments. And their neighbors are also pretty smart people that are musicians, sort of.
Oh my god, yeah, I do.
I told the lady who was their neighbor who came over, her name was Geeta.
Yeah.
I just told her I was from Kenya. She was a really interesting lady. She was from India.
Yeah.
But told her I speak Swahili, and then she's like, I learned this thing when I was a kid, and then she just like thought for a little bit, and then was able to like retrieve that song from her memory. I'm like,
she sang it, or
yeah,
oh okay,
yeah, she sang it. I'm like, do you even know what that means? She's like, no. I'm like, how were you able to even remember the melody?
Words? Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah,
but I hear that's the easiest way to remember something. If you make it into a song, or it becomes easier for you to remember it. So when people are learning like equations, they make it into a song, and then they can pull it back up.
Yeah.
Which is dope.
Yeah, I learned a lot about that. That was like my lesson that I got on Saturday.
On what? What do you mean?
When I guess it's a lessons. That's what you usually
like
take.
Life lessons.
Yeah, sort of. When you take lessons.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well. It was a lot of auditory stuff that was like I heard this faucet like calling me and directing me to where to go. It was really weird. I was
like calling your name?
Not calling me, but just like I went to use the bathroom, and then I was listening, and then like it was quiet, and then I heard this these little tiny drops
Yeah.
on like a metal, and it sounded different from any other kind. I knew it was water. I didn't know it was coming from though. And then I went and figured out. Because I kept on walking down this hall and followed this weird echo that I was hearing.
Yeah.
And it led me to the water fountain, and then took me downstairs to this weird laundry place. I don't know why it was.
Like, you actually got up and you went, or was
I was coming from the bathroom.
Yeah.
And then I'd have to go all the way back to the dorm room.
Yeah.
And I knew where it was, so it wasn't really directing me. I was just kind of following it, or it felt like the only. It was just like an interesting sound that I was following, so I think that's why I keep saying. That's why I said it was.
Yeah, calling.
Yeah, it was just. And then I went all the way downstairs, and that's where. I don't know. It was cool.
That's so trippy. I don't know.
I wouldn't recommend.
You would not?
I would.
Well, I don't know. I think I'm done with that phase of my life anyway.
I don't think you should be.
I definitely am.
I think you should do it with someone next, though.
Nah.
Yeah, I don't.
I partake in the shrooming, but that is it.
Yeah. Don't. It's.
Okay.
Well, okay, so it was also the dorm. The dorm in itself was a new experience for me.
Oh, because you never got to live in the dorms.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's weird.
Yeah, it's just small. I feel like it's
so
congested.
Small. I don't understand how you can go to sleep hearing doors open and people just walking around, also continuing.
I think it builds a certain amount of trust. Like, you gain a certain amount of trust with other people, and
yeah.
I think it either makes or breaks the rest of your life because of how... Yeah, you really... Like, if somebody screws you over, then you're just done with everybody after that.
Yeah, you really get to know all the other people, too, because you would come in and hang out. And
yeah, I know so many
but
people.
everyone there was so much younger than me. I'm also like...
So much younger.
Yeah.
Oh, my God. Oh, yeah, because it's freshman year for them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, they're all 18 or younger. Going to a rich school.
Yeah. And this is like a university.
Yeah. Oh, no, it's just a college.
Oh.
McAllister College. It's actually relatively pretty small, but the Uber driver that was dropping me off from the airport to there, he's just like driving to, like, I think he only drove through one street, and he was telling me, this is the whole college. It's really big, actually. He's like, this is a really big school.
Yeah.
I'm like, I don't think so. I think we've just seen the whole thing, and
in the blink of an eye.
Yeah, and we're already okay. Sure, yeah, this is a big school, I guess. I met a lot of weird friends that were Uber drivers or bus drivers.
I love talking to Uber drivers. Yeah,
it's
like my favorite thing in the world.
Like the bus driver is just like, we get back on it after going to a restaurant, and he's like looking in the side mirror. He's like, says some shit. I'm like, the bus driver says, is he speaking to us? I don't know. Then he's like, yeah, you. I saw you sitting and putting your feet on the chairs and just like chilling like you're home or something. And he has an accent. He's like talking to me about how I was doing that when on the way to the restaurant. I'm like, he's like, yeah, I can see everything from here. I'm like, yeah, I'm sorry, I just feel comfortable. Like, I didn't mean to. He's like, no, it's good. And I tell him kind of, and he starts speaking to me in Swahili, and I'm like, this is pretty cool.
I love when that happens.
Yeah. He's telling me about being in Mombasa, and that would happen a lot with the Uber drivers, even when they're weird. Like, like we got this weird Uber driver who just like complained about how he was so far away, and he's like upset that he took the call because it was so far away.
This is like my life.
This is the funniest thing, and the guy is also old, and then I talked to him for a little bit, and then I figure out he's like 60 years old. He had been to this. He tells me about his experience being in the Serengeti.
Yeah.
And then he's like, he tells me I was an interesting guy or some shit. I'm like, yeah, okay, cool. And then we leave, and it's a weird experience because you don't really, you just get in someone's car and they drive you somewhere and then you get off. There's no like transaction of any sort. It's pretty trippy, actually.
I think the worst is when you're sitting there and neither of you talk the whole entire ride there. Like it's just weird. Like there's tension in the air, and I feel it. I mean, that.
I actually kind of like that. Or
the tension?
Not the tension.
The quiet.
Yeah, when they're not into. Yeah. If they don't want to say anything, I'm fine because I'm like.
You don't feel that?
I don't feel like there's anything that I have to do. It's a little bit there, but as long as I don't feel like they could be like, oh yeah, you Ian, and then I get in the car and I'll be like, okay, I'm going to this place, and then I just drive the whole way, and I'm like, yeah, this is cool. Because even if I was to speak, I don't know what I don't have anything to say to this guy anyways, but except for just feeling kind of slightly nervous, because I do get a little anxious in cars.
I do that too.
And I've learned, I can keep it to myself.
Yeah. You don't feel guilty though? Just like I'm sitting in a car, I haven't said anything to this person, like what's their life like?
No, I don't feel guilty at all.
Yeah, I wish. I usually feel guilty and then I'm like, okay, I'm going to talk. And then the first time I tried it, the guy told me about how he met this woman, he got a divorce, he spent the next 9 months of his life in a strip club. They always
talk. Oh, wow.
Yeah.
They'll talk to you.
And then he fell in love with a stripper.
Oh, damn.
Yes. And then he gave that stripper all his money. Mm-hmm. And she was not in love with him. It was just a job. And then after that, he just quit going to the strip clubs and he started driving for Uber.
That'll do, yeah.
And I was like, wow, that's how you got over your divorce? And he's like, yeah. It was a dark time in my life. It's like,
must have been a long Uber.
No, it was...
It's actually not that long.
It was 30 minutes.
They'll tell you the whole...
Everything.
Yeah, it's fun. And it's a good time. I think I just do it too much sometimes.
Yeah.
Where I'm in a situation where I say something to someone and I'm like, immediately after I say that, like, don't know why I'm just engaged this person.
I want to take that back.
I don't know. I'm so sorry. Now I can't turn it back because I'm already engaged, and I'm not gonna be just like I ask a dumb question, and then I'm like, I can't turn around and just like show them. I don't know. I don't know how to switch gears that easily, and it could go on for way too long. Even like I'm like I gotta go.
And that you don't have a choice. You have to continue down that road.
Yeah, but it always takes me to somewhere where it's pretty interesting, at least where I'm just like amused also in the situation. I get over any sort of negative experience pretty quickly, and it's not good because you could be in situations where, maybe it's pretty sketchy.
Yeah.
Or awkward or not in a good position, but then you can rationalize it away so quickly that to make it a comfortable experience.
Do you usually go with your instinct or you just...
Yeah, it's all gut. And then I've realized that apparently it's probably something that is okay to do only because I kind of am not doing this thing that I'm doing necessarily intentional. Like it's not so intentional or voluntary what I'm actually doing, but I guess to some degree it has made me who I am, which is like just attaching to people's
energy or wavelength.
Yeah, wavelength.
Wavelength? Oh, we're gonna bring that back around?
Yeah. I was trying to put everything in the context of that.
Yeah.
So far throughout the whole week.
I mean, that's a good way to think about things too, though.
I mean, it makes me also have to listen more for whatever sounds are happening in the room. I don't know. Like if I was to quiet down enough now, I could probably hear my watch. And I don't know what that does to me, but definitely probably does something. There's a reason I like wearing a watch, and not only just a tough
tick
time.
of it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Huh. Do you feel like now you've almost jumped into the universe's wavelength, or do you feel separate from that?
I don't think I have in any way. I think I'm still just jumping between things, really intermediate, just fast. Also, I think it's part of why I have ADHD. Maybe it's that sort of just like we were smoking, and
Yeah.
and like there was guys walking by in a distance, and it's first just a weird spot. You just barely get outside the gates. It's cars passing. Every time I was there, I was just like, this is
strange.
Yeah, strange scene. I don't like having to always ever look over my shoulder. I'm like, why is... And it's like what everyone does there. It's just like, you can look out the window and just see people with this tree, which is just a little bit outside the gate of the school, so because it's not allowed or permitted on the school.
So they just step outside the gates. That's crazy.
Just barely, and even the security guards would walk by, and it's like they're not gonna do anything, but it wasn't a good situation.
Yeah.
It's fine. It's a fine situation, I guess.
But it's just sketchy, regardless. Just because of how people have viewed it for such a long time.
Just as a not white person.
Yes, so definitely. Yeah, in the South.
Yeah, I understand my privilege and their privilege a little bit. So I was always just on guard. But anyways, I hear these people from like a block away, this dude talking, and he just has a weird voice, and he's like talking to his friend, and it's weird also because I can hear his cadence. I can't even hear what he's talking about.
Yeah.
You can hear his cadence or his volume and how he's monitoring himself depending on where they are. And I guess I was doing it also intentionally, but also just as a bit to myself.
Yeah.
But also I don't know why I was listening. I was hearing someone from so far away. It's because his voice was weird. But I also wanted to kind of imitate what it was like. And it was two dudes speaking, and I always think that's the fun. It's fun to listen to people speak. Yes, it's probably why I like listening to podcasts. Like, it calms me a little.
Yeah, and it's a voice in the back of your head that's different from your own. I like that, yeah.
Yeah, and I was kind of mimicking the guy's, what's it called?
Tone and inflections.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then she's like, what are you... Oh, I know what you're doing. And I wasn't really doing it. I wasn't really doing anything other than just, like, listening to this guy. And then you'd get closer and try to... Or not hide it, or just, like, speak differently. And he had the weirdest voice. I don't even know what he was talking about. But she was like, I know what you're doing. Oh, you're doing that? I'm like, oh, I'm not really doing anything. Oh, we're watching Rick and Morty. She's like, you've, like... attached to the wavelength of the show or something like that. I don't know why she speaks
wavelengths?
Like yeah.
Wavelengths are very interesting though. I feel like that's what they do on improv though. They just kind of pick up on something and they go with it.
Yeah, and it's so beautiful.
It's fun.
It's fun.
Yeah. I'm trying to practice that in my life, like just saying yes to
just
more
saying
things.
Yes. That's what I think the definition of love is. If you were to ask me what I think love is, I think it's probably saying yes to what is what it is what that is. And people hear it, and that's probably why I think 90% of even it's also rationalizing, so that's not an accurate number. Yeah. Probably, but I'd say 90% of the interactions I have in a day, even the small ones, probably have like a positive effect on both or one of the participants in it, or it at least just is what I notice. I'm not. Or picking up where
you're just not just assuming.
Just like saying, "Hey, how's it going?" Yeah. And then someone just like receiving that in a way where I'm like, that makes sense to how everyone has been, how any stranger would pick up those words in that way, and I don't think it's necessarily anything that I'm doing intentional, because if I was doing it intentionally, I think that would be pretty.
It's just good energy.
Bizarre. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think it transfers. It flows from one person to another. Like if you walk on the street and you see somebody having a shitty ass day, you can just tell, and you either take their negative energy or you give your positive energy, and you just have to be conscious of that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's all still performance. Like
it definitely is. Like, you make that choice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I don't know. I think it's. She said she was like there's people that have rules or things that not rules necessarily, but just guidelines or things that will help you not be in a situation where you shouldn't be. Just knowing yourself, everyone has those.
I have a few.
Yeah, like don't drink on public transportation. It's probably easier to just wait till you get there. Yeah, like no matter how discreetly you can do whatever you want to do, probably just don't. Yeah, things like that. That everyone probably has those.
Yeah, or don't walk down like a non-lit alleyway.
Yeah, especially and you have it's all in context of what you've learned and who
exactly.
You are
and what you've seen.
Yeah, and but I was trying to think of what mine would be, and I was kind of blanking.
Yeah, because when you showed up and you're like, "Hey, I'm flying to Minnesota." I was like, why, Ian? You're like, I'm going to see a girl. I was like, I've never had that thought in my head. I'm going to fly across the country and go see somebody. Yeah. Like, that has never crossed my mind. And I talked to Tosh later about it, and I was like, Ian has to be one of the most adventurous people I've ever met. Like, he just goes.
That's an adventure. It is.
It is, because you're going somewhere you've never been before. Just getting on a plane and going.
Without any...
Yeah, nothing. You were going to drive.
Yeah, I was going to drive.
That's fucking crazy.
Ridiculous.
But that's amazing. I like that about you. I want to do that more. Just say yes.
I think so. In a situation, how do I identify what to do? Or how do I categorize that? That would help. I think I don't necessarily think about. I do have rules or things maybe I shouldn't do, but
not too many.
Well, I think more in roles. It depends. Like instead of like roles, like what is expected of. That's why I think everything is a performance to some extent. Because I could be in a situation that I don't know how to, or that I wouldn't know how to get out of, and just understand also, but also understand what role to
play in that.
Yeah. But I realized, okay, so this is how I am, and I've just got to surround myself with a certain type of people that are successful in whatever I'm trying to do, and then I can pick up on their same
habits and all of that.
So what I learned. Sounds. I make certain sounds that are probably involuntary, but also are probably part of I would call it a universal hum.
Okay, what do you mean?
That I unconsciously tap into because I'm not aware of it.
Okay, give us I'm
not aware of what
an example of a sound.
That's scary.
What kind of sound do you make?
I think they're all just sounds that are kind of comforting in a way. Maybe just to help me cope. Like if I think if I was sitting there, or if I was thinking about something for a while, I'd probably just be doing like unconsciously making sounds with my mouth. Just like.
Oh, okay. I do that. What do I do? I rock back and forth sometimes. Yeah, or like I'll find myself twiddling my thumbs. Yeah,
and there's just and there are other things or other sounds that people would attach to. I think that's what was going on. Oh man, it was a lot of remembering and forgetting.
Remembering and forgetting.
Yeah, like I keep remembering the same thing and then forget it and then remember it again. Like it was coming back, and then the same reaction. Oh, it was like a weird. You get caught up in loops, and then you have to like get out of yourself.
Yeah.
to help you tell yourself.
Do you have to do like the?
But it wasn't anything scary. That was what's weird. It's just the same lesson that I guess I have to learn every day. But it was like compacted into to a space where it was like, oh, this is what keeps happening, man. You just keep forgetting and remembering the same thing, and you forget, and you go off, and then remember again.
They do say that lessons usually repeat themselves until you learn it, so that's probably what it was.
Yeah, and I have a little bit more awareness of things, so maybe I'm able to be more focused and attentive.
Yeah, definitely. So you do a lot of videos, like music videos, and a lot of creative work. Where do you find your inspiration?
Where do I find my inspiration?
Oh, yeah, because you do what's his name? Peter's music videos. Those are pretty dope.
Hopefully.
They were. I liked the one that I saw. So
I guess I get a lot of my inspiration from myself.
You get your inspiration from yourself.
Yeah.
I've never heard that before. Okay, explain.
I think I just want to be able to be good at something, but it's always hard for me to do that. I don't know why, because I'm okay at a lot of things. I'm just like normal at a lot of things, even that I haven't tried. I might be okay at fencing. I don't know. I haven't tried it. I think I'm pretty good.
Yeah.
But it's that sort of I'd want to fit in my own self. So I'm not really necessarily that proud of the things that I've done artistically, and that's also a driving force in a way.
Oh, I see what you mean, yeah.
But it hasn't been a driving force enough to motivate me to do things that are bigger or better, even though I think I could be able to, with the skills that I've acquired doing it. I just kind of am lazy and have a short attention span. So I guess as an artist, I'd like to say I don't know what my motivation is. As an actor, I don't know what my motivation is.
Yeah.
And
as a person? Do you know what your motivation is?
No.
Just as a person, really?
Yeah.
Do you feel like you're gonna find that soon, or?
Yeah.
Okay.
Very. It's a deep search for it.
Well, I mean, it's a lifelong search.
Yeah.
I don't think anybody ever really knows exactly who they are, right?
Well, yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And I think I feel trapped and I want to get out of that sort of shell that I've
built for yourself.
And that's really the motivation in any little small thing that I do. It's like just another attempt to break out of a certain sort of shell that I've created for myself.
So you're always like reinventing yourself, or?
Yeah, or at least attempting to break out of the former conception of who I am.
Do you feel like your ADHD? Is it ADHD? Do you feel like that gets in the way, or kind of holds you back a little bit, or no?
Yes, in some to the extent of where I need to be, it's holding me back now. But to the extent of once I'm where I'm at, being able to move around freely, I think it'll help me in being able to jump around between things that I want to do, and still have a good time experiencing them. I just think it's also part of the reason that I do have ADHD is a lot of the processing power that would have been used to get through the first couple goes at doing something before it becomes a pattern that you identify yourself with. That kind of mental capacity goes to reassuring myself and making my experience at least a good experience. So even when I'm going through something shitty, I think I'm still fine and I've already comforted myself, and I'm already okay with the situation and going through the situation, and even just enjoying it for myself's sake. I think a lot of that makes me ADHD, or not able to necessarily focus on one thing purely and be able to master something. But once I'm able to do that, and have a thing that I can monetize upon or build upon, then I'll be able to at least be more creative about what I want to do, because then I'll be able to have full confidence in myself and the fact that I could do them.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And I don't think that that's impossible to get. I think that's also something that I'm working towards accomplishing, so I can be a full human. I feel now that I'm necessarily I think the lesson was that I was asleep, and now I just feel half awake.
Half awake, like 50%. That was actually dope.
Even though it was a good kind of sleep. I knew I was sleeping.
You were. See, that's the thing.
Snoozing.
Ever since I took my antibiotics and I think everything is over. So I've just been trying to feel like I used to, but I don't think I was ever truly awake, or like that I had the capacity that I was using the full capacity of my brain the whole entire time. Because there was like mental fog, there was inability to concentrate. What else? Like, I would read. Okay, I still have this because I start reading a sentence, and by the time I'm done with it, I don't remember anything that I read in the beginning of it. So I have to consciously make the decision, like, I'm going to focus on the sentence at the end of the sentence. I'm going to tell myself exactly what that sentence means. And I never realized how bad it was until after the antibiotics were done for the H. pylori. So I was like, this is a serious thing. And you could never know. And I think I had it for like 10
it's so hard
10 years.
To figure out stuff like that.
Yeah, so
there's no real frame of reference. No one can give you their trip and tell you how it feels to be them.
And just now I feel like so... I don't know if this is how everybody else feels, where everything is like a movie. So you're walking through life and everything looks like a scene from a movie.
That's cool, yeah. I think I definitely don't feel that 100% of the time, or even 50% of the times, but I appreciate it when it does. I think
mine's like all the time though.
For a while it hasn't been a movie experience. It's just been a slow, monotonous toil of getting through life, and that's a pretty sad place to be.
Yeah, when it just feels like
especially if you can, rationalize yourself out of feeling any sort of... Is it sociopathic to be able to control that part of yourself in a way?
I think to a certain extent, yeah. But
that's fine.
But what do you do?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not...
as long as you're not,
I'm not completely not... I'm empathic, and I can feel people.
Yeah.
I guess that's also why, But that's not... fine.
I don't know. I think to a certain extent, especially with the seeing everything on the media every single day and on the news, you kind of start to desensitize yourself from everything that's going on in the world. So it makes sense that would happen.
Life becomes getting from point A to point B and to point C, and I don't know. It's just getting out of your car and back and in a building and in
it's car. Your life. It's just you. Yeah. You stop thinking about everything else. But that could get really bad, so
it's just fun to be able to ask new questions. So I think that's what this experience was. It was an ability of asking new questions. Like I think a feeling that I got after I've heard my heart beating and felt my blood rushing to every part of my body was completely ecstatic. I was feeling pretty weird, but it was like this brand new form of uncertainty had been introduced in my life. Like, I was so sure about something.
Yeah.
And then I wasn't so sure about it. And I was like, concerned. but also curious and excited for what this new thing and my perception or that has been introduced to my experience was. I don't know why I was so certain, and I don't know of what I was so certain.
Like nothingness. You were certain of nothingness.
Yes, maybe that. Yeah, probably.
I'm the opposite. I try to run away from uncertainty in general. Yeah, I like solid things. This is how it's gonna go. Which is horrible, but hey, I'm working on it. It's good to know how the world is gonna go. For me, anyway.
Yeah. It's hard to know. How concerned are you?
With what I don't know?
Yeah.
Incredibly concerned.
About the future in general?
Everything. Like, literally, I worry about every single second of the day. I worry about myself. I worry about my family. Like, I worry about people I just met on the street.
Okay, so
everything. Like, it's overwhelming.
Oh, yeah, I bet.
Yeah.
Damn.
So I have to calm myself down, and I do a lot of meditation and, like, chakra balancing and all of that.
Yeah, that'd probably help.
Yeah, and the loud sounds, like, they get to me, so I just...
I mean, if I actually did half of the things that I read about or I think about doing, I think I'd be definitely not where I'm at now. I don't know why I don't do it. It's still kind of like doing half versions of things, and it's not really beneficial. But
yeah, you gotta commit.
Yeah,
you gotta follow through with something.
Definitely, commitment was this part of the thing that was in the package. I don't know. I feel good now. You're definitely catching me in an interesting time. I'm sorry for babbling about random
Oh,
things.
no, you're good. You're good.
I think
you
it's
say
still,
what you need to say. There's a lot of people who are kind of at the
interesting.
same place too. And
I'd hope so.
Yeah, there's a lot of people.
Then it's confusing, but definitely cool. You know, I think it's smart that you're not gonna have any more experiences with life lessons. But it'd be probably more beneficial
to me if I did.
If you feel confused now, maybe in a time where you're less confused about where you want to be or who you are, I think it'd be interesting or
Definitely.
more fun lessons than just being in a state of confusion and going through something that you don't really understand fully or can fully grasp in the situation that you are. Like, I don't know, I just see it a lot, taking things.
Yeah, I'm sure other people use just like meditation or...
Yeah, I don't know.
Yoga.
Why don't people do that at home anymore?
Meditation?
Yeah.
There's a lot of people who do it. They just don't talk about it because they do it in their own homes.
Yeah.
That's something that...
I'm interested
that's a
in
self-care
talking to people
thing,
about
I
their
guess.
experiences, their out experiences. I think anything that's
there was this
out, I'd have a little bit of a perspective on.
There was this
where I want a perspective on
yoga that I heard about recently where I guess they found a technique to make your brain release DMT into your system through yoga.
It's
like Bedalini or Mendalini. Kundalini.
Oh,
that's what it is.
The back door. That's the
yeah.
That's the finding the using the other way around, going through up and figuring out how to do that for yourself. Yeah, it's really cool.
You've tried it?
No, I haven't tried it. I know a lot about it though.
Yeah, I just heard about it on a podcast and I was like, I need to look into this and see what that's about.
Yeah, he uses it's like this is spine. It's like imagining there's a snake on the bottom of your spine and doing the meditation and breathing and then imagining it going up and feels a lot like snake charming.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Strangely, because everybody knows what snake charming feels like.
Yeah. Like breathing.
Alright guys, that was part 1 of a 2-episode conversation, and it only gets better. So, I'd like you all to tune in next Friday, same time, same place. Alright, and if you can, go to iTunes and please leave us a review so that your friends and others could find this podcast a little bit easier. And if you have any questions, please send them my way. Go to my website, which is elshampole.com, where you can contact me directly. All right. Till next time.